didn't see you there. As you can see, I'm just scrolling through the Summer Game Fest website. For those of you who don't remember, since the event itself ended like 2 months ago, the Summer Game Fest was a slew of events and streams from different game companies promoting, essentially their games. Game announcements, game streams, game events. There wasn't really much else to it. It was just a bunch of events. And they all happened over the summer, hence the name, Summer Game Fest. This was kind of the stand-in for E3 since E3 was canceled due to COVID, and only COVID, okay? It was only due to COVID. Definitely wasn't already going to be canceled because of utter incompetency and mismanagement on the event organizer's part. Just COVID. That's it. And there were a lot of events in this thing. So many so, in fact, that in today's video, as you might have guessed from the title, I'm going to be tier ranking all the events, just based off if they were good or just another waste of everyone's time. So let's go do that, okay? Switching over to the tier ranking list for all the tier ranking fun. Are tier lists, still a thing people like to do? I don't know, they were popular, a few years ago, but who cares? I'm doing it, so let's do that. Me talking about if tier lists are still popular or not, meanwhile I'm doing a tier ranking on an event that ended 2 months ago. And you know what? That doesn't even matter because I only uploaded my Steam Game Festival video a week ago, and that happened in June. So who cares? No, I haven't even done my best music of last year video yet. So who am I to talk about if something's current or not? I'm always behind on everything, but who cares? Let's just jump into them. So as you can kind of see, I've put a bunch of the events here. I never formatted any of them, so that's why the images look like they're kind of cut off. But don't worry, I'll explain what each one is, if you couldn't tell by these cropped thumbnails here. And in terms of the events that are appearing on this list, I'm just including all the events that the website advertised, in the lead up to when they were going to happen. The Summer Game Fest website had a list of upcoming events that was always just being updated, and the moment the event happened, it was just booted off the list, so I just took to taking screenshots of everything as they were happening. And then to make sure I wasn't missing anything, I went to the website and just checked all the recaps of all the events just to see if, there was something missing. But this is the final list here. I guess the last point I have to say is there were a lot of trailer reveals, like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 reveal, the Squadrons reveal. I didn't include those because those were not really events. They were just, they were trailer reveals. That's what they were. And I'm not that interested in ranking those. I'm only doing full-on streams or events. And these are all the ones that are here. If I'm missing one, then oh well. So as you can see here, I have my low rank. This one actually might be a little better gray colored right here. But I have my little rankings here. At the bottom here, didn't watch or participate because there were quite a few here that I didn't watch or didn't participate in. So that's what that list is for. The very bottom, waste of time. Obviously, self-explanatory. And then above that we have not bad, but I already forgot about it. It's just a meh tier, essentially. It wasn't horrible or anything, but it was incredibly forgetful. And then above that, overall net positive, not bad or anything. It took a lot of good points away from the stream. While I might not be ecstatic that I watched a stream or anything, overall I can't say it was a bad thing to watch. I came away with a lot of good points. And then above that, glad I watched / participated. Again, self-explanatory. And then up here at the top tier, S tier right here, PlayStation's E3 conference in 2016. That conference is one of, if not the best gaming conference I've ever seen. I wasn't even there to watch it live. I had to watch it afterwards due to people telling me how good it was. And even I, despite not being there at the time, can appreciate how good of a press conference that was. So while I'm not implying that anything that makes this tier is as good as PlayStation's E3 conference in 2016, I am saying it's kind of up there. That's just a name I wanted for the S tier. All right, first off, we have Baldur's Gate 3's Panel from Hell. I just didn't watch it. I'm not playing Baldur's Gate 3, and there's a lot of other Larian games I want to play before I get there, so I didn't watch it. Also, going to put Bitsummit Gaiden in there. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that. Bitsummit is this event that's held in Japan, and then because of the coronavirus, they held it online and called it Bitsummit Gaiden. I didn't really watch any of the streams going on. It was, again, this huge event with multiple streams and rooms going on at the same time. And it seemed really well put together and stuff. I just didn't watch it, so I can't really rank it here. All right, next up we have the Night City Wire Cyberpunk stream event. Just like Baldur's Gate 3, it was another stream that was just specific about Cyberpunk, revealed a bunch of details about the game to get people excited. And then alongside just some developer interviews and stuff like that. I watched it. They held 2 throughout the summer. I only watched the one they held on June 11th because after that one, I just figured, well, I'm going to be playing the game. I don't want to be spoiled. I'm not going to watch any others they do. I think they've held at least one or two others, but the June 11th one, if we're just talking about that one, which I'm pretty sure that's the only one that appeared on the Summer Game Fest website. Oh God, I didn't think this would be hard. I thought I knew where I was going to put everything. It's definitely not up here, but I'm just stuck between these two because I am excited for Cyberpunk. The stream itself was like fine, I guess. The only real announcement they had at the stream was that they're making a Cyberpunk anime, and that's cool. And everything else is just details about the game, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Just as a stream, it was overall fine. Like, this really is the best way to describe it. Just that, not bad. I kind of already forgot about it. Like, the only thing I remember from that stream is the Cyberpunk anime announcement. And then them going into, like, some gameplay detail where you can, like, replay videos but walk throughout them and stuff. It was interesting. Again, I'm excited for the game. But it was whatever. And honestly, I don't even think that's an effect of the stream itself being bad. I just think... I don't know if you're going to announce that much exciting stuff about this game in a game-specific stream to make me super excited for it, you know? In terms of game-specific streams like this one, I don't really think you're going to get any, like, amazing hype-level streams with these things because, again, they're just game-specific. You're not going to really be able to announce much. But at the same time, I don't think it's, like, possible to make a super bad one because these streams are really only meant for the fans of these games. Or people who are excited for these games. If anything, the only other people they might be meant for are people who are like on the fence of if they want to get the game or not. And then the event itself is to kind of give them that last little push they need to be interested in the game. Again, it was a fine stream. I think in terms of just me appreciating the stream, it was just fine. So let's go in there. Next up, the Day of the Dev stream. There were two of these, one in June and one in July. And while they were two separate streams, I just figured I'd rank them together because they were essentially the same quality-wise, which I think I'm going to put this here. I was thinking about putting it down here with Cyberpunk, but I think in terms of doing what it set out to do, it did it well. If you go to Day of the Devs, you go in expecting to hear about some cool-ass new games, which there were a lot of here. The vast majority of the games showcased at both Day of the Devs showcases were all games I hadn't heard about, and I was interested nonstop just kind of looking at all these new games. Sure, not every single game interested me, but again, I went in just to hear about new games, and that's what they gave me. It was just a nonstop slew of showing off new games with some momentary breaks to like talk to developers. I did go back and kind of rewatch a bit of the Day of the Dev showcases, and I do think some of the developer kind of interviews could have been cut a bit shorter. They did hit that point where it was like, okay, this is going on a bit long for a game I know that much about. And, not that developer talks are inherently bad, but they don't make for a super entertaining stream, especially when you're just still learning about the game. Overall, they were both pretty fun. I think in terms of announcements they had to give, the first Day of the Devs, I think, had like a Crash 4 announcement, which was its big ticket thing. I didn't care too much about that. I didn't go in expecting to hear, oh my god, Crash 4, and it's going to be this level of announcements and stuff. No, I just went in expecting, again, just to see new games, period, which I did. But I think my other favorite part about both of the showcases were they had a couple like interstitials and then moments at the beginning and end of the stream where they just had performances from musical artists. Caro Caro Bonito performed the Bugsnax song. The composer for Sayonara Wild Hearts did acoustic version of his songs, like performed that. And then I think also the Sludge Life composer performed at the end of the June one, if I'm not mistaken. So just cool stuff like that. It was overall a cool thing. And in terms of announcements they had that actually interested me, my favorite one was the announcement of the Untitled Goose Game physical, which I own. I don't have it here with me. My girlfriend's wearing it, but I did get it, and I was excited for that announcement. That actually made me very happy, so... Well, that's just because I'm a fucking weirdo trying to collect physical games. That's not going to interest everyone, of course. But yeah, stream was fine. I think it deserves to be in this tier here. Next, DC Fandome. I didn't watch it. I already don't really have a horse in the DC versus Marvel race. And I'm just not a huge comic person to begin with, unless it's like X-Men or the Image Transformers comics. So, didn't watch the DC Fandome. I did hear about the announcements afterwards, but I don't know how the stream itself was. Same thing goes with the Death Stranding Hideo Kojima interview that was held, I think, in July. I didn't watch it because I'm not really interested in playing Death Stranding on the PC. And I don't know, I just didn't watch it. Let's see, did I participate? A lot of these I just might, yeah, same thing here. There was a Destiny 2 event, happened in June. I played Destiny 2 a couple years ago, haven't gone back, didn't watch the event. let's move on to something I actually did watch. The Devolver Direct. I watched this. I think, I don't know which one it should go between. Okay, the Devolver Directs are so weird because these aren't really events as much as they are like skits put on by Devolver, parodying the game industry. Oh my god, I don't know where to put it. You know what? It was a finale to the Devolver Direct saga. I'm gonna put it there. I'm glad I watched those things. Well, I think the only reason I was stuck between putting it up here or down here is because it wasn't like my favorite out of all the ones they've done. I think my favorite is still, it might still be the first one, and then the third one from last year was a really good one as well. Devolver Directs are always pretty fun to watch. This was the longest one yet, I think, but it didn't really drag itself out too long. I loved a lot of the little jokes they put in there, especially. I was extremely excited to come back and see what had happened to Nina Struthers and what was going to happen, because what the fuck was going on here? It's just really fun to watch, especially with how it just parody the game industry. And I think more than anything, this Direct is just emblematic of what this entire fucking summer was, because there were just a million goddamn streams, just nonstop announcements and then not announcements, but because of marketing, they try to force them as these huge, big announcements when they really weren't. And it was just super refreshing to have this Devolver Direct in the midst of all these streams and shit, just to be here and give you a good laugh and parody the game industry, satirize it some more. I'll never get over getting down with Bad at Foddy. That was a really good joke. Next up, EA Play Live. Overall, it was a fine event. A lot of games, a lot of just showcases of games, a lot of new game announcements, like the new game from Joseph Fares, and then a lot of like in-depth looks into upcoming content they have, like the Sims DLC or I don't know, Squadrons was at that event. I think what I appreciated most about the EA Play live stream was its structure, because it was structured very well. You went from these like clear segments of, oh, here's a guy at Respawn talking about the games, Apex Legends, here's that, and then we're moving on to this person, and it's just these clear-cut segments interspersed with Greg Miller telling you what was coming next. Oh my god. I think the dumbest thing about the stream was the golden letters they had interspersed between. They were like, oh, you better keep track of these golden letters. They're very cleverly hidden. You need to put all the letters together to make a code. And the letters were just not hidden, and the code itself was just EA Play 2020. And then not only was that silly, but when you try to use the code to like redeem the free games, they were like giving out free games with that code, the website kept crashing, because I guess they just didn't prepare for a lot of people to want free games. Or they also just didn't prepare for a lot of people to read that secret code with all the golden secret letters. Overall, the stream itself was fine. My favorite, again, part of it was just how they structured it. I didn't really feel like they wasted my time. It was just fine watching him. Overall, net positive. I think my only real complaints, the golden letters were dumb. Some of the segments probably could have been trimmed down a bit, because it was just kind of these developer interviews, which, and this is just, again, this kind of just veers into my own personal opinion that they went kind of long on some of them, but I guess if you were really interested in those specific games they went in depth to, you must have really been enjoying those segments. Next up, Future Game Show. Okay, there's the Future Game Show and the Guerilla Collective and the PC Gaming Show. I'm going to put them all together because I want to do them all at once. So let me get these two done first. Gamescom opening night live. There were some cool things there. It was very silly and entertaining seeing Geoff walk around his COVID social distancing friendly stage. Okay, in terms of like announcements that interested me, I think it was just Fall Guys I was interested in. I think, honestly, my biggest problem... this is going down here. It is. The opening night live was so long. It was very long, and I felt in a majority of the stream... can my dad not play the trumpet right now? But the event itself was, professionally made and everything, and they kept showcasing games, and that was fun and all. It's just so long, and some of the segments could have definitely been cut down. I do not know why we needed Doc from Back to the Future to come tell us about Surgeon Simulator 2, a game that was already out at that point. I don't know why we needed to see the entire World of Warcraft animated short story thing in the event itself. Couldn't they have just told us about the gameplay stuff coming? They didn't need a huge story thing slapped in the middle there. That seems like more something you put in a game specific stream like Night City Wire or Baldur's Gate 3 than in opening night live of Gamescom. And again, I don't necessarily care if all the announcements appeal to me personally or not. It felt like such a slog to get through a lot of these segments for this thing. And even though like it went on super long, I can't say it was like bad. It was like fine, I think. Maybe I'm just not remembering it right because it's been 2 months. But I didn't like dislike it. I think I appreciated most like they had like the gameplay segment for Call of Duty Cold War. That was pretty fun to watch. You know, they did indeed have some cool stuff to show there. It's just the show itself was really long and difficult to get through. Moving on, the State of Play Ghost of Tsushima. I'm gonna put you there. Overall net positive. I didn't play this game. I haven't played this game, and even at the time I wasn't sure if I was gonna play the game or not. But I did watch the State of Play, and it was pretty good. For a game-specific stream, I think it did a really good job at just kind of showcasing everything the game had to offer. Unlike Night City here, where that kind of went in-depth into like one specific thing and then didn't really touch anything else related to the game, Ghost of Tsushima did a really good job at just kind of being a 20-minute long like advert for the game. You came out of that stream knowing what the game was and knowing exactly if you wanted to play it or not, and it did its job. You know, it showed some really good gameplay segments, showcasing the exploration, and then another one showcasing the combat, and then others showcasing like small other little details they threw in there. So yeah, good event. I enjoyed that one. Overall net positive. Okay, these 3 fucking shits. I'm just gonna rank these all at once. Guerilla, waste of time. PC, such a waste of time. Future Game Show was meh. I think my opinion of all 3 of these definitely lower due to all of them being showcased in the same fucking day. It was just a non-stop stream of just horrid stuff. The same horrid stuff, actually. A lot of these 3 streams, especially the Guerilla Collective and the PC Gaming Show, had a lot of the same games to showcase. So we were essentially watching the same thing multiple times throughout the day. It was not fun to watch. Aaron brought this up while we were watching it, which also, I forgot to mention it before now, I have a little companion video to this one up on my second channel, which is just a reel of my and Aaron's sometimes reactions to all the events that we watched together. I just recorded myself watching a bunch of the events whenever I wanted to, and edited down my reaction, and sometimes Aaron's there, and I slapped it all into a video. You can go watch that over there if you want to hear us suffer through some of these goddamn streams. Aaron brought this up while we were watching these, and these 3 streams are just exemplary of the problem that has become a lot of these streams. You know, I can respect what these streams are doing, which is showcasing indie games. You know, I want to hear about all these. There's a million goddamn indie games out there, and I want to know which ones I want to be interested in. But the thing is, a lot of these streams are just pulling from the same pool of indie games, such that you see a lot of the same indie games at each stream. So that already made all 3 of these just unbearable to watch. But what made Guerilla and PC Gaming Show just that much more annoying to watch was just that they were so boring. At least with the Future Game Show, was a bit more like quicker pace, had better pacing, got more just got to the shit with the games. But the Guerilla Collective and PC Gaming Show, oh my god, they had just the longest segments that made you feel like this stream was never going to end, especially the PC Gaming Show. You know, I just wanted to see some games, but instead I watched an inordinate amount of hosts bantering with one another and making unfunny jokes, and just not letting me see the games. So yeah, they were just so long, drawn out, boring. Multiple times in the stream where I was just tuned out or tempted to just close the window because I was so bored. So yeah, those were such utter waste of time. I hated those. Okay, on a much more positive note, didn't participate in the League of Legends Spirit Blossom Festival. Yeah, and yes, that is a positive note. Okay, New Games Plus Expo. You know what? Overall net positive. It was a good stream, I think. I think it did what these 3 down here were trying to do, but just did it better. You know, it just got to the shit and showed me the games and didn't take its time showing me dumb host banter or unfunny jokes or developer segments that just went on for way too long. While there weren't any necessarily, like, new announcements in the New Games Plus. Actually, no, I don't think there were like any new announcements in there. It did its job of just showcasing games to people who don't know about the games very well. I knew about quite a few of them already, but that's just because I'm a weirdo and already knew about them. But the wider public, people who just watch the stream, they probably didn't. And that's cool that they got to watch the stream and just get all these games shown to them. Also, I think
I would have been more annoyed by this one if I went in like with like higher expectations. A huge advertising point for the stream that they just kept spitting out in the lead up to it was that, oh, Sega and Atlas are going to be there. And they were, technically, but just for Catherine. The only thing that showcased was Catherine full body. And it wasn't really an announcement. It was just a reminder that it was coming up for the Switch in July. And that was it. They also appeared briefly in the sizzle reel to show off 13 Sentinels, but that was it. And if you were excited for Sega and Atlas stuff, sorry. Actually, you know what? Now that I talk about it, this probably just deserves to be down here. It was a fine stream. It did fine. Yeah, the Sega Atlas stuff was silly. And they didn't really have any new announcements. They showcased games fine. I think, yeah, still, in terms of what these down here were all trying to do, the Day of the Dev showcases did it better in terms of just showing nonstop games. And they did have, like, developer interviews and stuff like that. But I never felt like they ever overstayed their welcome. These down here were just drags. I'm just putting it down here mostly because it definitely did not deliver on the Sega Atlas stuff. And also, see, now that I think about it, now I do want to put it up here, because it's not like I already forgot about this stream. Tier lists are hard, man. I don't know where to put this. I'm going to leave it up here for now. I might move it back down. Moving on, the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase for July. I am tempted to put it up here, mostly because I'm biased, because all the Shin Megami Tensei stuff really did interest me, but that's just a me thing. I'm going to put it up here. It did. I'm glad I watched that. That was a good developer showcase. Good partner showcase, I mean. And they've had a few of these ever since. That was the first one in July. And then they've had one for every month since. And they just recently aired the last one for the year in October. Out of all of them, this might have been the best. That last October one was pretty good, but this was definitely up there. Okay, I'm just putting it down here. It was a net positive. I just remembered WWE Battlegrounds and the high-res game were in there. Yeah, no, it's okay. This can be down here. Yeah, it was fine. Again, those two announcements at the very end really got me. I think a lot of what disappointed people about this one was just that this was the first Nintendo Direct in literally forever. I think the last Nintendo Direct before this one was the Nintendo Direct Mini back in like March, where they announced 51 Clubhouse games. Oh my god. So a lot of people went into this one with unreasonably high expectations. They were obviously disappointed as a result. Yeah, I'm putting it down here. There was a couple really weird announcements and showcases in there, but overall it was fine. No, it was 10 minutes long. It was not long. It did not really eat up much of your time. So I don't really think it deserves to be down here, but it's an overall net positive. I think that's fine. Pokemon Go Fest 2020. So this was a event they held Pokemon Go over the summer. As much as I would love to rank this, because I do play Pokemon Go still, I didn't completely participate in this event, so I'm gonna have to put it down here. I was not exactly camping, but I was in the forest where there wasn't good reception, and as a result, I couldn't really participate in the event while it was happening. I did manage to connect to the internet, for some brief moments to try and participate in the event, but I only really heard about the event afterwards, and it seemed pretty fun, but I didn't participate, so it goes down there. Okay, here we go. This is the Future of Gaming PS5 reveal from June. Definitely a glad I watched / participated. A lot of good game announcements that I was genuinely interested in, like Stray, and I'm excited for Bugsnax. What else? But yeah, just a lot of announcements, not even ones that just specifically interested me, but a lot that obviously others were interested in, like Miles Morales and Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I am not exactly excited for another Spider-Man game, and I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn yet, but of course, there are a lot of fans of those games, and I'm sure they were extremely excited when those two games were announced. A lot of good announcements, moving at a good pace, of just cutting between games and showing gameplay segments where they wanted to, have a more in-depth look to a game. Just a lot of overall good stuff. The only thing I really didn't like was, of course, the reveal at the end of the box. I still don't like how the box looks. Obviously, looks don't really matter. Like, if I'm gonna choose between a PS5 or a Series X, obviously I'm getting a PS5. But oh my god, I still think the PS5 looks so ugly. Sure, the Xbox Series X is literally just a box. Just straight up box. They did not do anything else to that console design. The PS5 looks so bad, in my opinion. Okay, I'm not talking about. I'm glad I watched and participated in this one. It was a fun stream. A lot of cool gameplay looks. Oh, actually, did they show any gameplay that wasn't just Ratchet and Clank? Whatever. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank. That was another announcement. Yeah, just a lot of nonstop announcements. Fun, good stream. It was a very good stream. Moving on. Stadia Connect. Oh, I forgot I watched this. Yeah, that was obviously the fact that it's Stadia already puts it down here. Like, I had Stadia for 3 months because I got that free trial. They were giving out Stadia for free to anyone who watched the Game Awards at a theater last year, and Aaron and I did, so we got it for free. We had our Stadia free for 3 months. Aaron actually ended up using it, so he actually can form an opinion on how Stadia is. I just have the controller here. Let me see. I just have it here. All I did was open the box, look at the controller, and put it back in. Actually, no, I'm using the Chromecast right now over there, but yeah, no, I have not actually used Stadia. But it was super entertaining watching this stream because... What the fuck was this stream? Especially because there were so many things in that stream which were just confusing, because some of the announcements they had were probably, if not definitely, not news to anyone who already owns Stadia, which is hilarious because those are probably the people Stadia probably wants to cater to more to keep them subscribed. One of their big things was like showcasing the games that they had on the Stadia Pro subscription for free recently. So obviously, if you're already subscribed to Stadia, that probably would have interested you. So I don't know why they spent so much time on it. Just a very silly stream for a very silly platform. Pacing wise, it was better than a lot of the other ones here. I didn't really feel like they spent too much time on anything. It's just none of the stuff they had to showcase was all that interesting. Yeah, if you weren't interested in the Stadia, this stream was not getting you interested in Stadia. All right, we're getting to the end here, kinda. Steam Game Festival Summer Edition. Oh, that was a good one right there. They just recently had the Autumn Edition, and it was equally as good. It's just awesome that Steam puts up all these demos, like hundreds of demos for you to play. And then not only that, but they provide this easy navigation system just for you to find new demos. It's very nice. Not only was I able to download a bunch of demos for games I had already wishlisted, but I found a lot of new games through Steam's navigation page. A lot of new games for me to demo, and now other games I'm happy I found and I'm interested even more now in. So I already uploaded a 2-hour video on this. I'm not going to spend that much more time on it. Warframe, Tennocon, I didn't watch or participate. I'm not interested in. Ubisoft Forward. Yeah. I only watched the first Ubisoft Forward. I didn't watch the second one that aired in September. But from what I remember, they only focused on like 3 games at that first one in July, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They like really went in depth into, I think, like Watch Dogs Legions. The Far Cry 6 reveal was cool. Yeah, not really much else to say. Oh god, the more I talk about this, the more tempted I am to put it down a rank. Yeah, I'm putting it down a rank. It was just long. I think I watched this one while I was at work, and it was not hard to just not pay attention to the stream in favor of doing work, because there were a lot of long segments because it was a long stream, and again, they only really focused on a few games. So I mean, if you were interested in those games they showcased, that's cool, but overall as a stream it was just fine, I guess. Upload VR Showcase, didn't watch it. I don't have VR, not really a huge reason for me to watch it. Same thing with the Valorant thing that happened, I think, in May. I think it was like a Valorant update that happened. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I played Valorant during the beta. I have not touched Valorant since. Oh, Avengers War Table. Yeah. I think this is the same thing for me as Stadia, where the fact that it's Avengers just already bumps it down there for me. The stream itself was already kind of boring. I was not interested in the game going into the stream, and that opinion didn't change coming out of the stream. They didn't focus on anything I was necessarily interested in. They showed a lot of gameplay, which I can respect, and that was fun. You know, I am more than willing to admit that this is only really going down here because of my bias towards the Avengers game. Coming out of that stream, I really did regret watching it, so there we go. Oh, the Warcraft, yeah, this also goes in that, but I did not really participate in a lot of these. This is like the biggest section down here, that's hilarious. Okay, last one. The Xbox Game Showcase. Because I think my thought process between deciding whether to put it here or up here is whether I like regret watching it or not. Well, actually, no, this isn't like a regret watch. This is not what that category is. I'm gonna throw it here. I don't know. They did showcase a lot of cool stuff. You know, they obviously had the Halo gameplay showcase that a lot of people were memeing about after it happened. But even besides that, the only thing I can really remember from this is the Gunk, and that's mostly because of the name of it, and also it's by the Seymour guys, but also The Gunk. How do you forget a game called The Gunk? Oh, Grounded was in that. Yeah, Grounded happened. Yeah, it was like fine, but I don't know if it's an overall net positive because I do remember being bored through a lot of it. They announced Tell Me Why, right? In here? I don't remember. I am remembering a lot. I might want to put it up here. Do I put it up here? Am I putting it down? Do I put it? The stream itself did showcase a lot of like games that I was like cool seeing, and that was like interesting. I'm listing more and more games as I remember them, but I think the biggest thing the Xbox stream suffered from was the PS5 showcase that happened before it. Because obviously, in comparison, the Xbox Showcase is just not as interesting. A lot of the Xbox Showcase, I think the reason I'm fine putting it up here because it did do a lot of things right. I think the reason I'm okay putting it up here now is because I think it did a lot of things right. You know, it just showcased a lot of cool new games that were interesting. I just don't think it was anywhere near the level of the PS5 thing. I think I'm happy with this. This is a good ranking. I'm fine with this ranking. This is my definitive ranking. Notice how nothing made it up here. Well, that's just because nothing was obviously at that level over the summer. And I think that's just what made this entire summer just a bit more insufferable in terms of all these events. And it's mostly just because it just felt like a more watered down and drawn out E3. Like now we can get into the question of, did we need the Summer Game Fest? Yes and no. Like a lot of these events were going to happen with or without the Summer Game Fest. It's just that because Geoff Keighley organized the Summer Game Fest, suddenly all these events had a huge umbrella to kind of sit under, but they were going to happen anyways. Like Ubisoft, PlayStation, Xbox were always going to do their events. EA, PlayStation, Xbox have consoles coming out later this year. Obviously, they were going to do streams. A lot of these events were going to happen regardless, so it isn't so much a question of did we need the Summer Game Fest? It was inevitable, but it is a question of if it's a good or bad thing that this is probably definitely going to replace E3. It really is just an unknown if E3 is going to come back next year, not even discounting if the virus is still a thing next year, because a lot of these companies have had a taste of just doing a pure stream and not spending all the money and marketing to go over to E3. So chances are they might just figure, hey, we got all these views and free marketing and we didn't really need to pack everything up and go to this convention center in LA. Maybe we don't need to do that anymore, even if they hold E3 again. I do think watching a bunch of the streams over the summer, part of me did miss E3 a bit. Obviously if E3 doesn't happen next year, it's going to be for good reasons. I do not know what the fucking people at the ESA are doing, but I did miss it in that E3 kind of forced all these events to happen over the course of 1 week. I know I was complaining about the Guerilla Collective and the PC Gaming Show and the Future Game Show all happening on the same day. But I mean, personally, I'd much rather they all happen close to another rather than being drawn out over the course of the summer. I did miss when all the E3 streams happened at once and it was just this huge flood of streams and news, and then suddenly it was over and you could just sigh in relief and not have to worry about watching another gaming stream. But because there was no E3 this year, and obviously these companies want their stream to be the only thing being talked about at that time, it just led to all of these things being like equally spread throughout the summer. And it was just very annoying. Like, streams can be fun. It's fun watching a stream and seeing all the new shit they have to announce. And it can even be a communal thing if you watch it with friends. But I really didn't need to have to watch all these things over the course of the summer. I could have done, obviously, with a few less of these streams. But I also mostly could have just done with a lot of these being compressed to like 1 week of the summer. But just overall, just this long, drawn-out, painful thing. And, oh god, I hope this isn't the norm moving forward, because that would suck ass. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me here. Thank you for watching. Here's my definitive ranking of everything. And if you are frustrated that I didn't use this top tier of here, then just remove it in your mind. It doesn't exist anymore. This is the new S tier right here if you care about that so much. Again, if you're interested in more content and stuff about the Summer Game Fest events, you can watch the companion video I have on my second channel. I'll link it in the end card and in the description probably, where you just get to see a supercut reel of all the highlights of me and sometimes Aaron reacting to a bunch of these events. I tier ranked right here. That's gonna do it for me. I have to go edit this video, so see you then.